So what is the issue if the issue isn't the contact lens that was swallowed? What is the issue if the issue isn't the jean jacket? What is the issue if the issue isn't the diet book? What is the issue if the issue isn't the third marriage book? The University of Washington studied 2,000 couples for 20 years. And they said, we now know the two key ingredients for successful marriages. And when these two are present, the marriage does succeed. And when they aren't present, the marriage fails. I mean, that's a dogmatic statement. And always think in terms of bell curve. There's an exception to everything that I say, okay? And when you do research, I've got my PhD in family studies. When you think of this, I'll make statements, but I'm not going to be dogmatic. I may say, always, never, although I usually try to avoid that. But always think there's going to be an exception at the end. The bell is this main section. And so when they looked at this, they thought love and respect, when they looked at these people in laboratory settings over months, people would live in these apartments, they would clinically look at them, they would wire them physiologically. I mean, it was an intense observation. And these patterns began to surface that were consistent. And what they said then is love and respect is this set of two ingredients. But then it became gender specific. For instance, 85% of those who stonewall, who just withdraw at a certain point between male and female in an intimate relationship, when there's this provocation, when there is this conflict, 85% of those who just kind of say, drop it, forget it, I don't want to talk about it anymore, is the male. 85%. Now, 15% are women. If you're in that 15% as a woman, you're not a male. People need to understand, we're going to talk about some constants and we're going to talk about some variables. When we talk about bell curve, I've had women say, well, I must be a man because I stonewall. My mother stonewalled and she's not a man. But I'll explain to you why women stonewall, and it's different than why men do. So work with me on these stats. Always remember, don't say, well, I must be a man. No, you're not. I can kind of tell you're not, okay? So they asked the men, why they were withdrawing and stonewalling, and the men kind of explained it. And one of the things they discovered is that they were measuring the man's physiology, and they noticed that these men's heartbeats would get to 99 beats per minute. 99 beats per minute, you're in warrior mode. He looked calm. She looked like she was out of control. All right, come in. She was relatively calm, heartbeat-wise, because she had a goal in mind. He, on the other hand, is feeling provoked. That's why he says, you're picking a fight. Drop it. I don't want to fight. He said, I'm not trying to pick a fight. What are you talking about? So what does a man do who's an honorable man when he's feeling provoked and he's in warrior mode? There's either fight or flight, and he doesn't want to fight with her. So there's flight. You withdraw. Two buddies who are best of friends who have been buddies since first grade, they die for each other, but they get in this moment where they are really spitting mad. What do? We are lethal. So we say, drop it, forget it. We back away. It's honorable. But in the culture of intimacy, it's interpreted as unloving by almost every woman. And in fact, the women were asked, what do you feel when your husband is withdrawing like that? And this was the word they used. It feels like an act of hostility. Act of hostility. That's the opposite of love. Act of hostility. And then the women said that they could not imagine shutting down over what they perceived to be a minor criticism. They just can't grasp this. Particularly because they feel they're trying to help, which is on the other side of this thing. But so here he seeks to do the honorable thing, is my observation, but he's interpreted as hostile and unloving. What were the women doing? Well, apart from political correctness, this is what they said about women. Women criticize and complain, criticize and complain, criticize and complain. That's how it is. The clinicians, yep, it's critic, yep, that's criticism, it's complaint, yep. Now, the question is why? Because she cares. As I say, women confront to connect. They don't confront to control. It's not a turn on woman to control her husband. She doesn't get sexually turned on, for instance, by trying to control him. That's not her heart. She confronts to connect. But it appears as though she confronts to control, because there's no person in your life, gentlemen, who talks to you this way. And if they did, another guy was talking, it'd be absolutely true. He's trying to control me. But she's not. And this is what makes it difficult. But nonetheless, there's this ongoing criticism and complaint. And they asked the men, what do you feel? And ongoing criticism felt like contempt to these men for who they were as human beings. that she's using this topic as an opportunity to send me a message that she doesn't like me. So here she does the caring thing, but she's interpreted as contemptuous. And you have this very interesting disconnect. And this is what we want to unpack. We want to look at this dynamic. So what is the issue when the issue isn't the issue? The issue is, in most cases, bell curve, she's feeling unloved. In most cases, he's feeling disrespected. And what's even more interesting is that he seeks to do the respectful, honorable thing only to be labeled as unloving. And she seeks to do the loving thing, and he says, I'm sick and tired of this disrespect. Sick and tired. No one talks to me this way. I don't deserve this disrespect. And she's in disbelief, because all she's trying to do is do the loving thing. And he's in disbelief when he hears you're the most unloving person on the planet when he's trying to do the honorable thing. Who's right?